Hello everybody, my name's Kimberly and this is Off-Road Reactions. Today I'm reacting to a video of the Madigan line. The Madigan line episode 2, Old Andado to Madigan Claypan. This is from a channel called Overland Touring Australia. This is a channel I've featured before. The link to the original video will be in the description below. And this is a great one to take a look at, I think. Now, my business, Olsen's Tours and Training, which is a sponsor of this channel, is going to be running a women's Madigan line four-wheel drive tag-along tour. So make sure you go and check that out. That tour will be running in 2024, I think May, something like that. So do go and check that out if you're interested after watching this video in doing the Madigan line. It is a women's only event. There is also a mixed gender version of the same trip in the same year. And from memory, I think that the mixed gender trip is May and the women's trip is June. But go and have a look at Olsen's Tours and Training. The link will be in the description. Let's get started, shall we? All right, that's a shame. They're actually not at Old Andado. I thought we would see a little bit of Old Andado. So I'm going to come back to this video and I might go to episode 1. So let's do episode 1 first and I'll come back to this video later, I think. Don't know where this one's going from. Heading to Old Andado, it doesn't say where from. Let's have a look. Oh, Woomera. So they're starting off in Woomera. For those who don't know, Woomera is in South Australia. And of course, famous for the rockets.
Rob's taken us to this riverbed out of Coober Pedy for the night. We're camped over there. Still plenty of flies, but hopefully they'll go soon.
Yeah, so a couple of things here. So we camped in a riverbed because it makes a nice soft bed. But make sure you know about weather conditions before you go camping in any riverbeds in Australia. Although out in the centre, it's a lot safer than it is anywhere else. But still, you can get rain a long way away and it can cause the creek or river to flood in some areas. So just be careful of that. And flies. I noticed that they're in April. Yes, there will be a lot of flies in April. It's often better to travel June or that kind of time of year just because of the flies. However, it is always worthwhile carrying with you a net that you can put over your head.
Looking up the riverbed. Camp 2, and they're off collecting firewood for the fire.
I think I've actually camped in this riverbed, creek bed. Yeah, I had. They're on their way to Andado, so that I definitely have camped there. Look how flat that is. So the famous Pink Roadhouse, definitely worth a look. I haven't been there for a very long time, but it was really interesting to look through the shelves there, way back, way back. I'm talking about, early 2000s. And so they've come up from the south from Andado to Dalhousie. And those of you who do the Simpson Desert trip with Olsen's Tours and Training will be familiar with Dalhousie ruins, and of course one of our favourites, Dalhousie Springs, although we no longer camp at Dalhousie Springs since it's become all developed. It's just not our scene and it's too crowded. All right, so Mount Dare is a great place to stop off. The campground's just a campground, but it's nice to have the pub there and, have a meal and a drink and so forth, and just kind of relax, have a hot shower. The showers are not as good as they used to be, but they're still really worthwhile having. I'm hoping they're going to show a little bit of this track northwards from Mount Dare to Old Andado. It is a beautiful drive, a really, really pretty drive. I love the drive from Fink down to Mount Dare for its unique characteristics, but it doesn't follow the waterways, so it's quite a desolate kind of area by comparison, whereas this is quite different. Well, they didn't show any of it, and that's a bit of a shame because it's really beautiful through there. We stopped to get a look at a grid just because it happened to be the border, but there's a lot more beautiful things to see on that track than just a grid. Anyway, it looks like they're now into the more open country. We're just trying to picture exactly where they are. They're probably coming up to Andado rather than Old Andado, but we'll see. This looks like it's probably back along the track a bit in the flatter country leading up to Andado. This is heading into Old Andado. There you go, that's the last dune, down to Molly's house. We'll see what they show, but if you're not aware of the story of Molly Clark, go do some research, it's fascinating. Now, just going to go back a bit there. And all the ladies who were on our first ever all-women's trip where we went around the Red Centre and we kind of did a night in the Simpson Desert, and we came up here to Molly's house and we had morning tea in this very kitchen sitting at that very table. And although we were accompanied for that smogo session by a very loud man. We had a great time, and it was really, really worthwhile. So if you can do it, I really encourage you to have morning tea there with some lovely scones and jam and cream and a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you like. It was just a really pleasant experience, and to get to walk around Molly's house and see everything pretty much as Molly left it was fabulous. It doesn't look like we're going to get far into beyond Old Andado here, so I might jump on to the next video in a second. All right, well, actually what I'll do is I'll make another video, and we'll look at this next episode. We might even look at all three. Depends how long they are. But this is, a beautiful area. Look how gorgeous that dune is. The experience of going into Molly's house and learning about her life and seeing the stuff as she left it, and reading entries in her diary, having morning tea in the kitchen there was just a really fabulous experience and a great way to kick off the Madigan line. Now, Olsen's Tours and Training are running the Madigan line as a kind of double crossing, because these days it's a relatively short trip across the Madigan line. We are running from Birdsville to Birdsville, so we'll go Birdsville east to west across the Simpson, which is not something that we typically do at Olsen's Tours and Training. We typically only do the west to east crossing. So that will be a kind of unique experience. We'll probably follow the same tracks as we follow for the east-west, just because the tracks that we follow in the Simpson Desert crossing, I think, are more interesting than some other crossings that people do. And from there, we'll make our way to Mount Dare, up to Old Andado, and then across the Madigan line, returning back to Birdsville. So if you're interested in doing that, whether you're interested in doing it as an all-women's tour or you're interested in doing the regular tour, then go check out Olsen's Tours and Training. Bye for now.